Hi everyone, it's Grace again with a new book. This time it's Ling and Ting's Lunar New Year. Yes, Ling and Ting are back, and I have a special offer for educators. If you order this book before February 5th from the Carl Museum Bookshop, you'll receive a free virtual school visit with me on February 12th. At this visit, I'll share the customs of the Lunar New Year and we'll draw a horse together for the Year of the Horse. The webinar will be recorded, so you can watch it at a later time if you're not able to join live. But it's a great way to celebrate the Lunar New Year with your students. The link to all the info is in the show notes. I hope to see you. Thanks!
Hi, I'm Alvina Ling.
And I'm Grace Lin.
And we're book friends
Forever!
We're childhood friends
Who grew up to be
a children's book editor.
and an author and illustrator. Yay!
Welcome to Book Friends Forever. This is the Intelligence versus Wisdom episode.
And check out our website, bookfriendsforever.com, and our Instagram and YouTube channel at bookfriendsforever_podcast.
Grace, how have you been?
Good. It's been 2 snow days in a row here.
Wow.
Yesterday was like a big
There's no
blizzard.
snow here.
Oh, you haven't had any snow? Oh my gosh, there's so much snow here. It was a big blizzard
Boo.
yesterday, and then today it was there it didn't snow at all, but I think in the morning the roads were really, really bad, so they just canceled school anyway. But it's really beautiful today. Like like it's that pretty new snow. It's so shiny and everything. So we've had a snow days here. Actually, I'm really happy because I actually had school visits in Saratoga Springs area for Monday and Tuesday. And I saw the weather and I was like, I remember actually, I think it was last year where I drove in the bad snow and I was so upset and I was like, no, I'm never doing this again.
I
And I
remember
was like,
that.
oh,
You told that
I,
story on the podcast.
I know. And I was like, I can't do it. So I preemptively on Sunday texted them, was like, can we move these? And we did. So I'm going this coming Monday and Tuesday instead of this. And I'm really, really glad that I did, honestly. I feel very proud of myself because
Yes.
when I was seeing the snow falling and everything and all these severe weather warnings on Tuesday, I was like, I'm so glad I'm not driving in this.
Yeah. It's
So
not safe.
yes, and I'm not the most confident driver to begin with, so like I'd rather just not. So that was great. And anyway, I bet you they canceled school anyway, now that I think about it. So
Yeah.
because if Hazel School's canceled, I'm sure theirs was. But anyway, we have a really, really busy weekend coming up. We're actually going to go see a Amy Mann concert on
Oh, wow.
Friday.
Amy
Yeah.
Mann, have not
Yes.
thought of her in a
I
long
know, in a
time.
long time, right? Well, one of Alex's favorite comedians, I guess, is doing a show with her. I'm not quite sure how it works, but so he follows this comedian, Paul F. Tompkins, and he's a big fan of his. And
We went to his show together
yeah,
in
uh-huh.
Brooklyn. Yeah.
So but he saw that he was going to be close to our area. With Amy Mann, and I was like, "Oh, I want to see Amy Mann. That's like a blast from the past." And so we're going there on Friday night, and then on Saturday, Hazel has a kids maker space show. So this is where kids get to. It's kind of like a craft fair for kids, and so she's selling all her things at that show on Saturday. And she's been working so hard, and she's been making all these really, really cool things. They're not like I can't say they're cute because they're all these like anime characters, like a girl with a knife and things like that. But they look, I have to say, like I think they're really, really good. Yeah, it's a style that I could never do.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I'm even doubly impressed. And then on Sunday, I'm running the hot chocolate run
Oh, right.
with Hazel's friends. And my friend Kate Milford's supposed to come down, and Alex is running it too. And I have no idea how we're gonna do. Where like all of us are like not very prepared for this, but it'll be fun. And then yeah, and then I've just been trying to get work done. Oh, I'm getting really close to booking everything for my China trip. And So we have added 5 days in Taiwan to
Oh,
the end of
fun.
the trip because I found out that if you use China as a second stop as a tr on a trip, then you do not need to get a visa. And getting a visa from China not only is
Uh,
expensive, but a real pain in the butt, right?
mm.
And so I was like, oh, well, then I'll go from Hong Kong to China, and then China, and then we'll go to Taiwan, because I have relatives there, and it would be fun for Christine, my sister-in-law, who's coming with me to see the area, and so that way we don't have to pay or get really getting the visa, the China visa. That's the pain.
So does China consider Taiwan a second stop?
It does, and
Okay.
and um
That's so
because I was.
interesting.
Yeah, I was kind of because it has to be 10. It's a weird thing because it has to be less than 10 days in China. And I was like, oh, but I'm in Hong Kong. So
Hmm.
Hong Kong doesn't count either.
Interesting.
Um,
Do they
so
say that maybe they specify it by saying mainland China?
they specify it by port.
Okay.
Like you have to come into the certain airport and out of the airport into another international airport.
Okay.
Like
That's just really funny because
I
they
know. I
get
don't know.
upset
At
if
least I
you
hope so. I asked multiple times to our tour guide and I read the thing
Yeah.
multiple
Okay.
times. So I really hope so.
I think I'm sure it'll be yeah.
So
Yeah.
or we will but the biggest thing is that your tickets have to be booked ahead of time. So when you enter China, you show that you're leaving in
Hmm.
like 5 days, 10 days or whatever. It
Right.
has to be less than 10 days.
Okay.
Um So,
Interesting.
yeah, so
Exciting.
we've added 5 days to Taiwan. Originally, I was like, oh, we'll just go to Taiwan for a couple days, and then, my mom's like, you should see Kaohsiung, and I was like, oh yeah, I would like to. I've never seen that part, and then it's like, of course, it like gets longer and longer.
Yeah.
So looks like I'll be away from home for 17 days, which is
Wow.
really long.
That is a
So,
long
but
time.
but I also know that I kind of feel like if I'm gonna go all the way out there, I kind of want like it seems
Yeah,
like a
it'll be worth
shame
it.
not to see all these things. I don't know. I'm of two minds. One's like I just want to go home, but the other part's like, oh, well, you're already there. You might as well go to Taiwan too. So
Yep.
anyway, looks
Well,
like
how
that's
was your Thanksgiving?
oh yeah, Thanksgiving.
You
We
had
had
another,
Thanksgiving.
you did another race, right?
Yes, I did the turkey trot with my sister in Saratoga Springs. I ran 11-minute and I think 10-second mile or something like that. So better
Pretty
than I
good.
thought.
Yeah.
But not as I did better last year, definitely. But so my goal for this Sunday is to be the same as the turkey trot or better. But I think I should aim for the same since I haven't, it's not like I'm doing anything to improve myself
Hmm.
in this week. So yeah, and that was super fun. We played, my nephew was there and we played Dungeons and Dragons and where I again was the bard who and this time I could only sing Christmas carols. So,
Who
yes,
was the
I always
dungeon master?
oh, he's always a dun my
Oh,
nephew's
okay.
always a dungeon master.
Yeah,
So so
that's fun.
but I'm always like the bard that makes the that rhymes all the time and this time can only sing Christmas carols. I can't remember what it was last time, but weird things like that.
Yay.
Anyway, how about you? How was your Thanksgiving and everything?
Oh, it was good. So we hosted, and I think there ended up being 13 people total. I think there was supposed to be
Wow.
14, but my sister-in-law's sister ended up was sick, so didn't make it. But all the food was great. I did my apple pie, although I tried a different top crust, the
Uh-huh.
shingle kind of. I saw it in the New York Times and it looked really cool,
Uh-huh.
but I think it was fine. I don't think I'm gonna do it again that way because it was kind of like really thick.
Uh-huh.
One of my nephews loved it though. Like he kept like grabbing little square, like you do squares and you kind of just like lay them on top in a shingle pattern. Um, so anyway, it looked cool. And mac and cheese, stuffing, mashed potatoes, turkey, everyone brought all these veggie sides and
Mm.
pie, different pies.
I ate too much pie at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, there was a pumpkin pie. There is a, what's it called? Pecan pie, two chocolate pies. So
Chocolate pie.
we didn't even open one chocolate pie because someone else brought a chocolate pie. So we like reserved the other one. And I was going to bring it into the office. And then Steven's like, well, maybe I should just try it. So he like took them and then, he's been like slowly eating.
Yeah,
And I
yeah, yeah.
said,
That's the best though.
should I bring the rest in? He's like, no, we're going to eat it. And I'm like, okay.
That's the best though. I love that.
Yeah. And then my niece, Quinn stayed, our niece, Quinn stayed 2 extra nights and we took her to the Lightscape, at the Brooklyn Botanic
Yeah,
Garden, which we
I
went
saw
to.
photos. She was wearing
Yeah.
my big mooncake scarf.
She was, yes, because we needed a bundle up. And so I lent her my moon sweatshirt and I thought, oh, the moon scarf would work well. Earlier that day, so it was Black Friday. And, I thought, oh, we could go to the Brooklyn Museum and maybe see the Oliver Jeffers show, which I haven't seen yet. But we gave her a choice of that or shopping. And she picked shopping. So we went to the Atlantic Center Mall. And I thought what was interesting is, so, she's been getting into makeup
Hmm.
like face. This is like something that a lot of Gen Z, like
Yeah,
kids
yeah, yeah. How old is
now,
she?
she's 11. So
Okay.
she has her whole routine at night, like where she
Yeah.
puts the moisturizer and I guess I don't know, it's not bad to have those kind of habits, but it is a little weird. Like
Hmm.
but so I knew she was interested
At
in
least
going to,
for us, it seems weird.
it seems weird to me. So she was excited to go to Sephora and she of course knew all the brands and she wanted like a lip gloss. So she got a lip gloss from a place called Summer Friday, which I guess
Huh.
is very popular. I've never heard of it. And then we went to Target and she wanted to go to the toy section and she really fixated on this Disney doll, from Tangled, like a
Huh.
and we said, oh, are you sure that's the one? And we kept looking and she kept coming back to it. And we're like, why do you want that one? And she said, oh, because of the hairbrush. But anyway, we did end up getting it for her. And I just thought it was so interesting that at her age, like it's a perfect example that she's in between childhood and
Yeah.
like adulthood or teenhood because she wanted
Hmm.
lip gloss, but also a doll,
Yeah.
and apparently
Uh-huh.
she's been carrying the doll everywhere. And her mom sent
Aw.
us a photo of the doll kind of tucked in into her bed while she was also sleeping, and it was so sweet.
Aw,
And she
that's so
said she's been
sweet.
carrying the doll everywhere. So
Yeah, that is it's such a
yes,
lovely but lovely age, but it's like an age of like you don't know what you're gonna get.
I know.
At least now, like now with Hazel, she's 13 going on 14. Like we know what we're getting.
Yes.
It's
No,
a
no,
whole
it's
teen
so
now.
true. It's so true. But yeah. And then since then we have been having a lot of holiday events at work. So
Mhm.
Monday, Megan had a dinner for some of the directors, and that was lovely. And then yesterday we had our department holiday party, which was just in the office and the multi-purpose room. And we brought back the gift swap, like the elephant, the white elephant, or whatever it's called, the
Mhm.
gift where you can steal, other people's gifts. And that was really fun. And then, of course, we had karaoke.
Yay. What did you
You-
get in is your white elephant
I
gift?
ended up getting, so I tried to steal this burrito tortilla blanket. Like
Uh-huh.
it looks like a tortilla, but
Uh-huh.
it's like a blanket. So I stole that from someone and then someone stole it from me. So then I opened another gift that was like face masks and then someone stole that from me. And then I opened another gift. I feel like maybe I ended up with the final. I feel like I got another one that was stolen as well, but I ended up with a candle. It was a lovely candle from Anthropology that smelled like vanilla. So
That's nice.
yeah, but it was exciting. Um, oh, what's interesting? Okay, so Jackie, our deputy publisher, as you
Hmm.
know, she mentioned at the dinner that she's been listening. She's like, I feel like I've been hanging out with you a lot because she said she listened to 2 of our recent episodes.
Oh, really?
And she said, because she listened to the one with about uh, sorry, she listened to the our last was it our last one before?
With
Yes,
Leanna?
Yeah, with Leanna,
Okay.
because she works the inventory management one because she
Oh,
works with
okay.
Leanna closely. Um, but she also listened to the previous one, and then she said, "I didn't realize that you do karaoke so much. You do karaoke like 3 times a month." I was like, "Not usually. Usually it's once a month at most, and usually it's not once a month." But yes, I think we this month I've happened to do it a lot. But it was, our typical after party. And it was just, I mean, obviously I love it, but I just feel like karaoke unites people. And it was great to see people from different levels, different departments singing songs together and just having a lot of fun. So I always love it. I was joking to some people like, maybe I'll call my imprint karaoke books.
Huh.
Karaoke books. It brings people together.
Karaoke,
I mean, I
carry.
was joking.
Sing with me.
Um, yes. Anyway, but that was really fun. So why don't you kick off this week's episode because this is
Okay.
based on a podcast that you listen to.
Yes, this week's episode is one that we kind of talked about doing a while ago, and we're like, okay, we'll do this one when we can't think of what to do, because it's inspired by one of my favorite Hidden Brain podcasts episodes, which is What Wise People Know. So if you listen to Hidden Brain, you'll know that episode. I thought that
Well,
this
I will
episode.
say though, it's a Hidden Brain Plus episode.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So I wasn't able to access it, but then I did sign up for Hidden Brain Plus for 1 week and I probably will cancel or maybe I'll keep it. I don't know. But so you can't just listen to it,
Oh,
actually.
that's true. Well, if you happen to be a Hidden Brain Plus listener like me, then you can listen to this episode because I really liked it. I thought it was really great and it reminded me of a lot of things. Um, yeah, and so after I listened to it, I said, "Oh, well, we should talk about this, the difference between wisdom and intelligence." And I thought that was such a interesting idea. And it kind of like I could kind of like see how it ties into things going on in the government, things going on in the world, things going on in
Mm.
publishing, all those things all together. So yeah, so
Well,
that's
why
what.
don't we? I decided this is not part of the not part of the episode, but it of course ties into it. But I just decided just to look up the definition of intelligence and wisdom. And so, according to Merriam-Webster, the definition of intelligence is the ability to learn or understand things or to deal with new or difficult situations, or mental acuteness or
Mm,
cleverness.
yeah, yeah.
And then wisdom is the ability to discern inner qualities and relationships, insight, and good sense, judgment.
Yeah. I think that's a really good way of thinking about it. Like feel like intelligence is kind of like how smart you are, how fast you get things, how but in wisdom is kind of like
How you use
be
that
how
knowledge.
you use that and how how good your decisions are using that. Um so the podcast that I thought the first thing about the podcast that really struck me was how they talk about how data can fail, that the numbers are not people. And they talked a lot about this guy named Robert McNamara, who was like this whiz kid in like business and data. And he's like this revered CEO and all these things. And then suddenly he became, because he was such a great business guy, he became the person who ended up being responsible for
Strategizing.
strategizing. I was stuttering on that word.
Strategery.
Strategizing the Vietnam War. And one of the things that he did, because he was such a data-driven person, was that he decided that the metric he would use to decide who was winning the war would be body count. Whoever had killed more people, whatever side had more dead, was the one
It's
winning the
just so
war.
terrible. Like if
Exactly.
you just think about common sense, it's just terrible.
Like,
Anyway,
and I guess when you take out the human element and you're like, say they're not people, say they're like reams of paper, like, then like, yes, I can see why he kind of thought that because he had taken out so much of the humanity of it, and he just was like, they have this many dead, we have this many dead. But it just turned into this huge disaster because instead of like really targeting the enemy, the army was just killing everyone, enemies and civilians, just so that they could have a higher count, so they could say they were winning the war. And of course, in the end, that turned people against them, and which is probably a one, if not the biggest reason why they lost the war. And
Hmm.
I mean, I kind of see this a lot with what's going on now with what's going on with ICE because they're like, oh, we have to deport everybody, and they're
Right.
not
It's like
even
quotas.
yes, quotas, and so they don't even care if they've got the right people or the wrong people. They just want to fill those whatever wherever they put these things that they
Well, yeah, I do, I agree that it's similar because I think from what I've heard is that these ICE agents have quotas. So they're just
yeah
trying to fill the quotas and then they're going
yeah
they're going to
these
the
spreadsheets
court,
they
for
have, like
example,
yeah.
and they're grabbing people who are there for their green card interview or they're,
Hmm.
who people who are doing it legally but aren't citizens and then they're, you know, like grabbing them. And it's just
Yeah,
so senseless. I think what when I was this, I think I've said this before, if not on this podcast, then privately to you. But I just feel like we've everyone has lost common sense,
yeah.
and like just none of this makes any sense. Even so when Trump was campaigning, he said, "Oh, we're gonna deport the criminals," and so that I can see a lot of people are like, "Yes, that
Yeah, I
makes
can see how that's an
sense."
attractive
And
idea,
that
right?
makes
Yeah.
sense, but the way that it's actually being executed does not make any sense.
Yes, because they're using this kind of stupid data-driven way of doing it. Like
Hmm.
anyway, I'm hoping just like in Vietnam, it turned people against them and that's why they lost. I'm hoping the same thing happens here
I mean,
is
it
that they
is. I mean,
realize
you
and
already, like I've been
they stop
saying, you
doing
see
it.
a
Yeah.
lot of the footage from actually, it was Charlottesville, I think, where it's in the South. And in a way, you wouldn't think of the reaction being as what we've seen, say, in Chicago or New York or LA. But down south, they're having the same kind of reaction. And down there, the civilians actually have guns. So you'll see like, a middle-aged woman who used to be in the army come out with her gun against ICE and say, "Get off my property. Like you can't
Yeah.
do this." And it's really interesting. But it does give me hope. I mean, not that I don't want guns
Yeah.
out there, but
It's just
it's just really interesting.
but it just shows the madness of it, right? And how it's very, very unwise.
Hmm. No,
So
yeah. I mean, I think listening to it, I started feeling like, okay, intelligence is knowledge. And so maybe it's like book smart, and then wisdom is kind of not really, but kind of like street smarts in a way. But it is kind of like
kind of.
because street smarts, you think of like, okay, you know how to navigate the world, you can understand people's motivations and you understand how to, you know, to work with people.
I
And
guess
that,
I was thinking it more of it like how they used to say like IQ versus EQ,
mhm,
like intelligence versus like emotional
emotional.
intelligence and like intellectual
Hmm.
intelligence. Is that what it means? What's
Yeah.
IQ stand for?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, intellectual intelligence. I don't know
Intellectual
actually.
intelligence. That seems like a double one of the
Informational No, I don't know. I guess we could look it up. Um, I guess, but I see street smarts. I see that as being EQ
I
personally.
guess, yeah, I guess that's true. I guess street smarts to me always has this feeling of like someone trying to trick you, like on it. So,
Oh,
like that it has that kind of patina to it to me. So that's why I'm like, I don't know, because it seems more, but it is this what
intelligence
your
quotient.
intelligence quotient.
Quote.
Ah,
That's what's the Q? Um, I mean, maybe that's part of it, but no, I guess I think of it more as like navigating the people who are trying to cheat you, not being the person who tries to cheat people. But who
yeah.
knows?
Well, I thought so what I liked about this episode very much was is like how it showed how, I mean, they talk about this a lot with relationships and arguments and how you can be right and wrong at the same time. Like you can have an argument with somebody and you can be correct with your points and you can win the argument, but you've lost because you've permanently damaged that relationship. Like, and you've by not being willing to cede any ground or ceding your point, you have like destroyed that friendship. You have, like,
Hmm.
and that is like you win the battle, but you lose the war kind of thing. Not
Yeah,
that
that
relationships
reminded
are
me
war,
of,
but
have you read Think Again by Adam Grant?
yeah, and I think that's where yeah, I think it was kind of an echo of that.
Right,
So
where
I thought
he
that
said
was really,
you can't win arguments by facts. You have
yeah.
to win by listening to what the other person's fears are or concerns are, and then
Yeah,
alleviating
and I think this
those.
is just kind of an echo of that, and I think that's kind of what I liked about it. The other thing that I liked about it is that it reminded me of something else in another podcast. It reminded me of in the Happiness Lab. Laurie Santos had an episode called "How to Spend Your Time and Money Better" with Nobel Prize winner Richard Thaler, right? And in that podcast, they talked about the winner's curse,
Mm.
and which to me also seems like something that is like intelligence versus wisdom, because the winner's curse, I guess they said the easiest way to explain the winner's curse is like, say you go into a bar or a restaurant and there's this big jar of coins, right? And the jar has a certain amount of money in it. And everybody who comes in, you said, everyone look at this jar, and whoever bids the most for this jar gets to have all the money that's in it. And so everybody bids on the jar, and the person who wins the jar actually ends up losing money because their bid is actually higher than the amount of money that's in the jar. So
Oh,
even though you get the jar and you go home, you're actually out of money. Um, and so they said that that is what happens all the time, that the more bidders they are, the higher the price goes up and the less, usually the less value it is. They say basically uh, the lesson, here's the quote. The simple lesson is that in actual bidding circumstances, the more bidders there are, the less you should bid, which is counterintuitive. So, and I thought about that in terms of publishing and auctions.
yeah. I mean, so obviously, if you don't bid the high, then you don't win the auction. So basically, is the philosophy like you should never try to win the auction?
I don't know. I think the idea being don't go for the hottest thing. So
Hmm.
I
So
don't, to me,
maybe the lesson is to not participate in auctions.
or maybe you don't go for the auction that has like every publisher, maybe just one publisher, like or
Yeah.
something like that. The idea being like you shouldn't go for what
Yeah.
the biggest, hottest, I
The
guess. That was
problem
kind of what I was
is,
thinking.
because we've done a lot of analysis of the auctions that we've participated in, the ones that both that we've won and we've lost. And, even though I think mostly the winners overpay,
Uh-huh.
and so they might not make the money back. Maybe the book becomes a bestseller, but maybe they actually aren't profitable.
Uh-huh.
Um, but there are those exceptions where it becomes it just so I think for us one example is we were in the auction for Dear Evan Hansen,
Hmm.
which was a novelization of the very popular Broadway show, and that was sent to both YA and adult publishers, and everyone was bidding on it,
Hmm.
and we won, and we paid a lot of money, but that turned out to be a huge success, and so
But I think the idea is that in terms of wisdom versus intelligence, is that the idea is that something everybody is bidding on something makes people think that that's definitely going to be a huge seller, and that
and
is
that's
not
not.
the case because you've had just as
Yes.
big sellers
Hmm.
of books that were like Twilight, which you preempted, like that was didn't go to auction. So I think it's not so much don't go to auction. I think the idea is like don't count on auctions uh to find your bestseller. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Mm.
I just
Although
thought it was an
Twilight
interesting
was,
idea.
if we hadn't preempted it, it would have gone to a huge auction because there's, after we preempted it, all these publishers were like, I would have been on it. I would have been on it. So, yeah, I
But do you
mean,
think
I think the truth is, it's
you
just,
just don't in publishing you just don't know.
you just
I
don't
know they
know.
were saying in oil they were using the oil thing, whereas they had all these people who were trying to find oil, and so like they one person would be like, I think there's oil here, and so everybody would bid and bid and bid and bid and bid, and then and there would be oil there, but nowhere near as much as how much they bid
And yeah,
to get the lease of that land for the oil. So,
yeah.
and they said that would happen over and over and over again. So,
Yeah. There are some, there's some editors I know, like Neil Porter, who just announced recently that he's fully retiring. Um, I know his philosophy was like he almost never or maybe never participated in auctions.
huh,
He would,
interesting.
and he obviously is really, really successful. And we have some other editors who are like that. So I don't know. I mean, I know for me, when I hear something's going to auction, it usually makes me want it less.
Oh, really? I thought it
Yeah.
was the other way around.
Well, that's always the key. Like if it makes you want it more, then okay, I really like this. But if it
Uh-huh.
makes me want it less, then I think it's just a sign of, well, because auctions are a huge pain in the ass. I, I
See, I
shouldn't.
don't know
I
any of
just
this.
cursed. I just cursed. No, is that a curse word? I don't
I
know.
don't know.
um, they're just a huge pain to do, and like and so it makes me try to figure out, is it worth it for me? So
Huh.
I think for me that it's a good indicator. But I usually bow out if I know that there is another offer on the table. To be perfectly honest, I mean, obviously I've been in plenty of auctions,
Yeah.
but it does generally make me. I think also because of the research we've done, that we find that generally like people tend to overpay in auctions, and so yes, we've had some successes, but um, it's
So
generally not
maybe,
worth it.
yeah, so the winner's curse is shown out by your research, actually. So
Yeah,
the overpayment thing. So
yeah,
anyway, I just thought it was really interesting. I don't, like I said, I have no I have no auctions to bid on, but I just thought it was interesting and something to think about,
yeah.
especially as you start your own imprint and you'll have to start doing your own auctions again.
I know. Well, that's something I was thinking about. It's like, should I try to? I don't know. I mean,
Did you
should I do
do you
the
have a
Neil Porter
philosophy?
model?
Did you have an auction philosophy or not an auction philosophy? So that's those are all the things to think about for your imprint. Like what's going to be your philosophy?
I know. That
But you have
is
to,
the thing. Some,
but
yeah.
just like the podcast says, you have to be flexible with that philosophy. Like
Hmm.
that's what they were saying. It's like you have this idea, but then when you're on the ground, you have to be flexible and realize like, oh, there are times when I break that philosophy, or there's times where I bend it. So you could be like, I am not an auction person. I've decided that's my philosophy. But then you might see one that you're like, well, this is where I break. Like you
Yeah,
have to
I
be
think
able
for
to be
me,
flexible.
it is if it's that project that I am undaunted and I'm just more, it makes me want it more. I think that's a sign that
Yeah.
this is the one I should go after.
Yeah.
Um,
So
yeah,
anyway, I just thought that was interesting.
that was. Um, it also, so I recently read another Adam Grant book, Hidden Potential. Have you read that
Oh,
one?
uh-huh.
Which is kind of a growth mindset book, but there was some aspects of that book. So in Hidden Potential, it talks about how um, character skills are more important than cognitive skills. So I think
Huh.
you can consider cognitive skills as more of the intelligence, because those
Hmm.
are the hard skills like math, and I can do Excel really well, that,
Hmm.
versus character skill, which is also called soft skills, which are things like you're proactive and you're disciplined and you're determined and you're
Hmm.
pro-social, and that the character skills are a better indicator of success than
Hmm.
cognitive skills, which I thought was really interesting because, and he said that most people, if you go to a good kindergarten, you actually learn those character skills in kindergarten.
Hmm.
But there have been all these studies. Like there was a study, I think it was in South Africa or it was somewhere where they took, a group of entrepreneurs, um, and half of them they sent to like a cognitive skill class course, and the
Hmm.
other ones they sent to character skills course. And the character skills people ended up being 30% more profitable than the
Hmm.
cognitive skills
Interesting.
people. So yeah, it is interesting. So,
Hmm.
and you can learn character skills. So go out there and learn your character skills. I mean, it is a growth mindset. So I do feel like I am a believer of that. So yes. Let's get out there and be smart. Not smart. We'll be wise. Let's be
Be
wise.
wise.
There was another piece that I thought was interesting, and that where intelligence and wisdom were at odds because of confirmation bias. So they
Oh
said if
yeah.
you feel like you know everything about something, but then you have confirmation bias and you'll use that
Hmm.
to, to believe, or, to
Yeah, to
prove,
reinforce your belief. Yeah.
yes, to prove that you're right. Um, so
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we're all kind of guilty of that. It's hard not to be guilty of that, I think.
yes. But if you're wise, then you're aware that that is happening and you can counter it.
Yes.
All right. So let's move on to our fortune cookie segment. So in a recent Publishers Weekly article, where the headline was "Included Faces Up to Publishing's Diversity Problem," they highlighted this. I guess it's relatively new. It was created in 2017, nonprofit organization called Included, and it's spelled INKLUDED. And it's basically aimed to give aspiring BIPOC publishing professionals the knowledge they need to get a foot in the door in the publishing world. And I am aware of this organization in part because one of our editors, Alex Hightower, is on the board. And also, just this past year, Hachette has partnered with Included. And so, Included now has a partnership with both Macmillan and Hachette. And they've been holding some of their courses at our office. So what they're doing is they have a course, and it's similar to other publishing courses like the Columbia Publishing course or the Denver Institute. And I remember when I was starting out, I learned about these publishing courses, and everyone said they're really great for networking, but they're very expensive, and I actually don't know how long it is, but they're kind of a all day. It's like a course. So you can't really go if you have a full-time job. So what Included has done is, especially when you're trying to reach an underrepresented population who maybe they're working, so they don't have the means to take off, a month and just go to this course. So they have all the classes after work and on and during the weekends. Um, and so they've been doing this since 2017. They have 9 people per semester, I think, is how they work it. Yeah, so they've graduated 9 students annually since 2019. And they estimate that 75% have been placed
Oh, that's
at
cool.
publishers.
That's
So,
really good. 75%.
yeah, so it's a really nice organization, and I actually volunteered to mentor for them next year. So I'm interested to see how
Nice.
that goes. But I know they've been setting out because they're being held and they're open. So, they had a panel about audiobooks, and one of our actually Nita Basu, who she had helped us market this podcast at the very, very beginning. And we use her login still with Libsyn to
That's
to
true.
post the podcast.
because we don't
She
know how to change it.
I know. I had actually asked her. I was like, "We can change this if we can." I don't know how. Um, she did a talk on audiobook publishing. They've had some other, like an executive editor from Sourcebooks, talk about YA editorial acquisitions. So, they also give a stipend to the
Oh,
attendees, which is
oh,
great.
that's really
Yeah.
great.
And it can be fully virtual,
Uh-huh.
so all the events are hybrid. So if you don't have to live in New York, which we know is very expensive. Um, so it's great. So I'm just excited to see how things progress, and yeah, I'm excited to see
Yay. Well,
what
it's
they
nice
do.
that it's kind of nice to think that diversity is coming to publishing. It's
It's
been
still a
slow.
focus.
It's
It's
still
been
focused. Yeah, it's
yeah.
slow, but at least it's moving.
Yes, and it's nice to know that they're still working towards it despite, the current political
Yeah.
climate, which is kind of, anti-diversity and inclusion.
Yeah.
So, but I do think most publishers are still committed to it. I hope. Not,
Yeah, I hope
I don't
to.
know. I don't know if I can say most. I hope I can say most, but I'm not sure if that's accurate because I do know of some publishers who have gotten rid of their like diversity and
Yeah.
inclusion officers. So
That's really sad.
I know
And
it is really sad, but Hachette has doubled down. So
yay.
I'm very happy
But
about that.
it's all business, right? Like that's the thing. I feel like if we can just prove that diversity is
I mean, we can prove it.
profitable,
We have
you know?
proved it. I think
Yeah,
we've
I feel
proved.
like we have, but
Hmm.
obviously they don't think a lot of places don't think so. So, but if we can prove without any doubt whatsoever that diversity is profitable, then I feel like we'll will there won't be any turning back.
Yeah.
It's
Well, as
sad
I as
because
I
everything's
always
about money.
say, I know. I always say they always say to diversify your portfolio, financial portfolio. So why wouldn't
Yeah,
that be the same with any
yeah.
other industry? So,
Hmm.
all right. So we haven't done a tell me about in a while,
Oh,
but
yes.
Grace, will you tell me about a big bed for little Snow?
Yes. We decided to do a big bed for little snow because there's a big snow day here where I live. And this is my book, A Big Bed for Little Snow. It is actually it's kind of a companion book to A Big Mooncake for Little Star. So if you know anything about A Big Mooncake for Little Star, in that book, Little Star is the main character, and she kind of has this fade away illustration where her pajamas kind of fade into the background of the Black Knight. This is I kind of like to think like Little Snow is Little Star's cousin or something, and his pajamas fade into the white background that connotates snow. And in this book, little Snow secretly jumps on his bed when his mom isn't looking during the winter time. And when he jumps on his bed, the little feathers from his big feather bed start leaking out. And one night he jumps on it so hard that a lot of feathers jump out. And as you read the book, hopefully you start to realize that every time that little Snow jumps and these feathers come out of his bed, they're causing snow to fall. So when he does a big jump and a lot of feathers come down, it's a big snowfall for everybody down below where we live. So this book is actually kind of my homage to one of our favorite books, A Snowy Day.
Yep.
Um, so much so that you can even see Peter in the book. So in this book, not only does Little Snow have a stuffed animal that is a dachshund
Hmm.
in honor of Ezra Jack Keats's Willie books. You can also see Peter in one of the spreads where he's looking out the window, and if you know anything about the snowy day, there's a scene where Peter's looking out the window, and so I tried to make it the same kind of pose and everything. So hopefully people get that homage. And the other very slight homage, which I usually don't talk about too much, but I feel like it's poignant. When I was first doing this book, I was like, oh, should I do a black character since it's an homage to a snowy day, but somehow I was like, is that appropriation? I don't know. Like, is it not appropriation because it's an homage to a snowy day? But it was just like this very like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
I think at the
um,
time it was kind of like at the height of own voices that,
yeah,
and so I think a lot of people were grappling with
yeah, I was
that.
like, I'm not sure what the right thing to do is. And then, one of my friend's sisters, has a son, and he was just in. I always thought he was so cute. Anyway, and I was like, oh, he would be perfect if I decided to do an Asian boy. And then slowly I realized that he actually has a half black father. And I was like, oh, he's like mixed, not just Asian. And I was like, that's perfect. So it's kind of like it's a very, very small, maybe even unseen homage, like,
Hmm.
but to me, it makes me feel better because I was like, oh, because am I appropriating the black character? Am I not appropriating the black character? And this way, I feel like I'm still honoring the black character in the snowy day, but not making him a black character. Does that make sense? I don't
That
know.
totally makes
I had
sense.
to, I had to work it like do
Yes.
somersaults over and over again in my head, trying to figure out what the appropriate thing to do would. And I came down to that, and I feel like that was a good decision. And I feel really good about it. And I think this book is really nice. I think when it first came out, it it didn't do badly, but it wasn't like a huge anything, like it was just like
Hmm.
a nice book. But I feel like as time has gone on, more and more people have kind of picked it up because every time it snows, somebody always sends me something like little snows jumping on his bed. So I always feel like, oh, it's like one of those very slow, but people still find it and read it.
Hmm.
So that is a big bed for little snow.
And I think, I mean, we can we can announce that we're doing a board book,
Oh yeah, I
a
forgot.
board book adaptation of it for
Yes.
next fall, next winter.
Yeah.
So that'll be really fun to have it in
Yeah,
that
and I
format.
think, yeah, I think it'll be really great in that format. I think it's perfect for that format. And I think, like I said, I think more and more people have slowly found this book. I think there are less books with Asian boys in it,
Hmm.
than Asian girls. And I mean, no fault to creators. I mean, most of my books are Asian girls, but like, so I think when parents are looking for Asian boys, they do find Little Snow, and they're like, yay! So. That's
Yay.
all.
All right. So now we'll end as we always do with what we're grateful for.
Why didn't you start first? Because I feel like I did a lot of talking.
Okay. I am grateful for, wait, now I forget. I was going to add something. Well, so one thing I am grateful for is my colleagues at Little Brown, which I've said before, but I think every time we have, like a departmental holiday party or, some kind of gathering, I just am reminded of how wonderful everyone is. So we have a new publishing director, as I've mentioned before, Erin Berger, who just started a couple weeks ago. And she's been saying like, "Wow, everyone's so nice." And Lisa Yaskowitz recounted the story at the dinner on Monday, and she said when she first started at Little Brown, she was like, "Wow, everyone's so nice," and she mentioned that to another colleague who's no longer at Little Brown, Erin Stein, who had come from Harper. And Erin said, "Come into my office and sit down." And so she like brought her in and she said, "I know it's so weird that everyone is so nice, but they really are that nice." She's like, "I know that it's like it seems not real and that it's not authentic and but it's true that everyone's just really nice, so you just go with it and drink the Kool-Aid and stay, so I thought that was kind of funny. But it's true that everyone, it's just the culture that we've
Gosh, it makes me wonder what
cultivated.
the other places must be like.
Well, I do think Harper at the time, I think they're different now, but at the time that they had this reputation of it's being kind of cutthroat, and so I
Hmm.
think there are a lot of we have a lot of people from Harper from that time who came
Hmm.
over and they found like a golden a golden world here at Little Brown.
Yay.
Um, so yes, I'm grateful for that. And I think I had one other thing that I forgot, but if I remember it, I'll mention it after you go. Grace, what are
Okay.
you grateful for?
Yeah, I didn't write mine down ahead of time either, but I think I'm gonna say I'm grateful for my family,
Hmm.
especially Alex and Hazel, because I've been planning this trip, to China and Hong Kong, and I'm like, oh, and I was like, oh, well, if we want to see this, then I have to add another day, and I have to add another day, and I'm like, and was telling Alex, and he's like, yeah, do it, and I was like, it was just so I was thinking about like he has to hold the fort down like while I'm gone, so like basically he's gonna be. I mean, he's going to be
Yeah.
solo parenting for like 17, 18 days. And then, of course, when I get back, I'll probably be completely like, bleh. And so like he's got to take care of things, but he's not even really worried about it, and I don't think and I'm not, to be honest, I'm not really worried about it either. And Hazel is so self-sufficient these days, like, I just think that I'm really grateful that my family is so well, well, I don't know if adjusted is the right word, but that can allow me to that gives me this kind of freedom to do this kind of these big trips when I need to. So I'm
Yeah.
really grateful for that. And I'm really grateful that I can afford to. I mean, I'm a
Yeah.
little worried, but when it comes down to it, yes, I can do this, like uh so I'm grateful for that too. So those are two things that came to my head. Did you think of the one that you forgot?
No, but that's okay. All right. So that was the intelligence versus wisdom episode. Thanks for joining us, and thanks to Alex at Pacey Work Studio for editing this podcast. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and tell a friend about it. We should
And
check
tag us.
if anyone
What?
added something. I said we should check
Oh
because we did ask
yeah.
people as a
Yes, please do
gift.
for the as a holiday gift. Please give us a nice rating. And I think in the new year, nobody's listening to anymore because they think we're done. But I think in the new year, I'm definitely going to start my dish towel business. So I'm thinking that I'm going to do something that we could use for Patreon, either a discount or something. Though I'm also thinking about starting the dish towels as a Kickstarter too. So if anyone's still listening and has experience with Kickstarter, please let me know because I've just thought of this and I don't really know what I'm doing. So anyway, tag tag us on social media and use the hashtag #BookFriendsForever to send us a message. Oh no, or send us a message via Instagram at @BookFriendsForever_podcast or via our website bookfriendsforever.com and join our Patreon, which will have something next year sometime. The link is in the show notes.
I'm Alvina Ling. You can find me at Planet Alvina on TikTok and at Alvina Ling on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Threads.
Yeah, and I feel like in the past, usually when people like if you join a Patreon, you get this bonus. But I feel like we have longtime patrons, so I almost want to feel like if you were like one of our first patrons, you get this. But then I don't know, then that's not an incentive to get new patrons. So I don't know.
We
We'll have
have
to figure out
one
something.
new review from
Oh,
November 5th. People
wow.
are probably not listening right now, but D. Debrovner gave us a 5-star and said, "Great conversations and a look behind the scenes. I love that Alvina and Grace always end with what they're grateful for. Thanks." So that's nice.
Yay.
So someone listened to our plea and did it.
Hooray.
Yes. Thank you, D.
I'm sure you're not hearing this part, but thank you. Yes, I'm Grace Lynn, and you can find me at Pacey Lynn on Instagram and Threads, and author Grace Lynn on Facebook and Blue Sky.
Have a great week.
And don't forget to read. Bye.